Go.
JG Summit Holdings Incorporation. So the history of JG Summit Holdings Incorporation started in 1957 as Universal Corn Products. So history and background. So JG Summit Holdings was owned by John Gokongwei, a business venture. It has around 27% stake in power distribution company Manila Electric Corporation, which it bought from San Miguel last year. Next. So mission, vision, and core values. Mission, we make life better for every Filipino. So vision, JG Summit Holdings Incorporated will be the leading conglomerate in the Philippines. Core values, passion to win, dynamism, integrity, and courage. So the awards and citations. In 2017, Chairman Emeritus John Gokongwei received the Legacy Award from the ASEAN Business Advisory Council. In 2015, they have the Asia Talent Management Award. In 2014, the Lifetime Achievement Luminary Award. In 2013, was awarded one of the best 50 publicly traded companies in Asia. In 2012, was awarded one of the best publicly traded companies in Asia for 2011. So financial summary. So the net income of JG Summit Holdings is 31.29 billion as of 2019. Next. So the product. JG Summit Holdings has Universal Robina Corporation, the Cebu Pac, the Robinsons Land Corporation, JG Summit Petrochemicals, Robinsons Bank, and many more. Human resource, making life better, is the credo synonymous with JG Summit Holdings. Customer centricity has long been one of the driving forces behind the conglomerate's operations. Next. Quick results, constant improvement. Our work is not just transforming the lives of the employees, but also helping the culture and the conglomerate transform from its traditional ways into a more modern, more agile environment. So operations local and abroad. So it operates in most part of Asia and some part in Australia.
Policies and activities. So, under Code of Business Conduct and Ethics, which is under top management policies, operation force policies. The fundamental principles of the code is the expectation that all our employees are required to conduct their dealings in the interest of JD Summit in accordance with the highest legal and ethics standards. Under Code of Business Conduct and Ethics, there is conflicts of interest, gifts, solicitations for company-sponsored, employee-related activities and events, business meals, bribes, personal use of suppliers, contractors, and professional service providers, financial interest and third parties, loans, outside business activities, competition with the company, confidential information, and preservation and protection of JD Summit resources. Under whistleblowing policy, which is um, lower management policies. The company is committed to conduct and business according to the highest ethical and the legal standards. In line with this commitment, we encourage employees and business partners to raise concerns about any aspect of the business operation. The, object, the objectives of whistleblowing policy are the following: to encourage employees, business partners, and other stakeholders to report concerns involving actual or suspected violations of company policies, to provide clear procedures for reporting any actual or suspected violation of company policies, misconduct, malpractice, irregularities, or risks against the company, to protect the whistleblower against any form of retaliation. And next, the insider trading policy. The company shall abide with the provisions of law set forth in the Securities Regulation Code and shall implement policies and procedures to prevent the unauthorized disclosure or misuse of material, non-public information, securities trading to preserve the reputation and integrity of the company. The material-related party transaction policy, the company shall conduct all material-related party transactions on an arm's length basis, on fair and reasonable terms and conditions no less favorable than any such term available to unrelated third parties under the same or similar circumstances. And the next reporter is Garcia. Thank you.
Stakeholders' health, safety, and welfare. The company is committed to undertake all reasonable steps to ensure the health, safety, and welfare are the best interests of the stakeholders and the communities where we live and work for complying for the provision of law, industries, rules and regulations, standards of independent accreditations bodies where the company obtained accreditation and contractual obligation. One of the policies aims to is to provide guiding principle to ensure health, safety, and welfare to the company's stakeholder, identify the responsibility and accountability of every personnel and department in the organization to ensure the health, safety, and welfare of the stakeholder, and to integrate health safety practices in all activities to ensure efficiency, quality, and products and services. Next, board nomination and election policy. The board recognizes the importance of having a qualified and competent board to achieve company objectives as well as to protect the interests of all stakeholders and shall ensure that proper nomination and election process is in the place to attain this. The objective of this policy is to institute policies and process of the nomination election of the board of directors. Next, board assessment. Members of the board conduct collective and individual annual assessment of the board performance through a board assessment review initiated by the Corporate of Governance Committee. Next, succession planning and remuneration policy. The company shall ensure its continued effective performance and sustained growth through leadership continuity of the benefit of all stakeholders. The objective of the succession planning program are to identify and nominate suitable candidates for the board approval to fill the vacancies and arise from the time to time, to identify the competency requirement of critical and key position, assesses potential candidates and develop required competency through planned developments and learning initiatives. To identify the key job incumbents to the senior managerial position and recommend whether the concerned individual may be granted an extension of term services or be replaced with an identified internal or external candidate. Of this is need to recruit suitable candidates. Next, board diversity policy. The company recognizes the benefit of having the diverse board and its value in maintaining the sound corporate governance for achieving strategic objectives and sustainable growth. The board diversity policy establishes the approach to realize the diversity of the board member on an ongoing basis. The policy applies for the board of directors. It does not apply to the diversity in relation to employees or company, which is covered by the internal guidelines of the company's human resource and development. Next, directors, office, stockholders, and related interests or DOSRI. The dealings of the company with any of its directors, officers, stockholders, and related interests, a related party shall be in the regular course of business upon terms not less favorable to the company than those offered to others. Next,
The internal environment analysis. Strengths. Adapting sustainable growth. They value positivity and resonating inside their company for their employees to renew. Next one is the business transformation. JG Summit, the company is not only focusing in food industry where they were started, but they enhance or transform more and venturing out into different industry. The third one is the strong distribution. They have strong distribution because their different subsidiary are performing well locally and globally. Next is the weaknesses. High taxable rate. The higher their income, the more tax will amounted to the company and also to all of the CEO and shareholders of the company. Next is the investment in research and development. It can be seen also as a weaknesses before they need to invest more in different field of researching and developing of their product and services. The next reporter is opportunities and threats. The next reporter is Cam.
Under environment analysis is the opportunities and threats. Opportunity is the growing partners. DG Summit Holdings Incorporation has consistently provided people with better choices and created strategic partnership for growth in doing so. Next one is the building economic growth centers by providing strategic venues for companies to operate in Robinson's Land Corporation, help support sector growth and generate economic activity. Next one is the threats, competition. Many of the group's activities are in highly competitive industries. Next, financial markets. The group has a foreign exchange exposure primarily associated with fluctuation in the value of the Philippine peso against the US dollar. Next one is the raw materials, costs and availability of fuel and the Philippine regulations. Okay na po.
JG Summit Holdings Incorporated has different business subsidiaries where Universal Robina Corporation is the food, agro-industrial, and commodities section. Its customers were so dispersed and backed that a loss of one customer is material to its total sales. URC has an effective distribution chain and sales and marketing network that gives them the competitive advantage. Next. Some of its competitors were MY Sun Corporation, Columbia Foods International, Nestle, and San Miguel Foods Corporation. Having different products, it requires them a wide variety of raw materials and packaging which are purchased domestically and internationally. Next. Another arm of JGSH is Robinson's Land Corporation under the real estate and hotel section. It has a broad market base which is divided into five business dimensions. SM Prime Holdings, Ayala Land, and Megaworld Corporation to name some of its competitors. Construction of these facilities were given to reputable construction firms which is subject to bidding process and management evaluations. Next. Cebu Pacific is the air transportation arm of JGSH Inc. Like URC, every customer that will be lost has a material effect to its total sales. PAL Express, AirAsia, and Cathay Pacific are some of its competitors. Its fuel suppliers includes local and international stations, mostly from Shell and Chevron. Its contracts with these suppliers are on a yearly basis and subject for renewal in the succeeding years. Next. JG Summit Petrochemical Corporation aims to be the supplier of major manufacturers of plastic-based products in the Philippines. Among its competitors were NPC Alliance, Philippine Polypropylene Incorporated. The raw materials used in the production of polyolefin products is olefins derived from naphtha. Prior to the completion of JG Summit Olefins Corporation naphtha cracker plant, JGSPC purchased olefins from international sources. Next, JGSOC or JG Summit Olefins Corporation sells its primary products, ethylene and pro- propylene, directly to JGSPG, while other products, pyrolysis gasoline and mixed C4 are exported to international markets. Prior to the completion of naphtha cracker plant, the feedstock naphtha is purchased from international sources as well as SPG. Next reporter, Nico Gonzalez.
Macro environment, political or legal. The company operates the majority of its businesses, including food, real estate, banking, and financial services, telecommunication, air transportation, and power generation activities in a highly regulated environment. Next, economical. In 2010, JG Summit Holdings launched its businesses process outsourcing arm iTech Global Business Solutions. The company starts its production where the labor is cheap. Next, social cultural. As a manufacturer of customer food and commodity food products, it is required to guarantee that the products are pure and safe for human consumption. and that it conforms to standard and quality measures prescribed by the Bureau of Food and Drugs. Next. Technological. JG Summit Holdings iTech Global Business Solution has continuously evolved and refined its services over the years. Next. Environmental. The operation of the company are subject to various laws enacted for the protection of the environment. Next.
Globalization, wait nga, Globalization Environment. JG Summit Holdings Incorporation Outlook and Perspective for 2020. JG Summit Holdings Corporation shifted into the age of globalization with Universal Rubino Corporation, pushed into multiple ASEAN markets, and Cebu Air Incorporation regional approach. In the age of acquisition and partnership with strategic alliance and joint venture with strong players in their respective industries. They will remain cautious of potential risks that could impact each of their businesses. They believe that the intense competition will continue to linger, especially in URC. They will maintain their focus on their core capabilities to protect and strengthen their competitive advantage, and they will undertake a more active risk management for the group. One of the risks that remain apparent is the trade dispute between the US and China, which could further impact worldwide trade dynamics. There are also geopolitical tension and economic policies uncertainties that could influence the overall investor investment. JG Summit are currently assessing the multifarious risk and corresponding impact of the outbreak of the rapid spread of the virus of the overall financial condition of the operation of their subsidiaries. They remain focused on their key priorities in the response of the situation, such as protecting their employees, health, safety, supporting their customers and communities, and strengthening the business continuity plan amidst a difficult. Next.
Strategic analysis and choice. Internal. From the SWOT analysis, it's evident that strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats company has a large distribution in various types of products and services. Makes extensive operation, however, things need to be maintained and considered for the organization. The key point of the or drivers to change are the group's ability to compete effectively will require continuous efforts in sales and marketing of existing product development of a new product and cost rationalization, but there can be no assurance that sales volume and market shares will not be adversely affected by negative consumer reaction to the higher prices as a result of price reduction or promotional sales undertaken by its competitors. This business would be materially adversely affected by the suspension or revocation of this license or franchise before to comply the needs to operate the company properly. Next report is exploration.
External. For the PESEL analysis, it is obvious that the company enjoys a good position politically, socially, technologically, environmentally, and legally. Because of its strong market position, top quality products centered on study and consideration of the legal aspect of manufacturing, operation, and distribution. Nevertheless, the company has been able to evolve the latest model to compete with its rivals and ensure the well-being of its workers and their customers. Next.
Conclusion: JG Summit Company serve product with pure and safe for human consumption and standard quality of food. The management style is something like second family where nurturing and training employees is one of their priorities. Lot of programs to enhance growth of employees were provided, not to mention the benefit they could get. Company promotes continuous learning through seminars, trainings. The basic pay is good, but we see that they can improve more on benefits. Companies' policies and regulations are well established in proper accommodation, abiding by law. Job description is defined. The field of work has offered a lot of room for learning and progress. The compensation and benefits can use some improvement. Maybe the company can offer more benefits to its employees and too much overtime, too much workload. Next po, recommendation.
Recommendation: in its 30 years of doing business, JG Summit Holdings Inc. has consistently provides people with better choices and created strategic partnership for growth. Improving the salary and benefits of the employees and reduce the working hour. We found out that many of these the many of the employees are complaining about overloaded work and working hour.